Not only that, but I had my hair tied up in a plait today, pigtail, a pigtail. And anyway, so I just thought before I hop in the shower and ruin my hair and makeup, I have quite a bit to share off of the back of my last video where I was very vulnerable and I'd shared that I'm going through a relationship turning point, crossroads. Now, I didn't want to make it sound, hopefully it didn't sound like the blame is all on him. It takes two to tango. It takes two to weave a tangled web. And I know that I am to blame for getting us here as well. But I am at this crossroads, and I went to my psychologist. Well, I've been seeing her. I've actually been about 4 times for grief, for my son, for how to help him, and for this. And she has helped me today. She gave me such clarity that I wanted to share with you guys. It may just help one of you. When we are in a state of overwhelm like me right now, there is grief, there is wrapping up of an estate and admin and a whole lot of things. I've also got pet drama with the one dog and the other dog and a whole lot of that kind of thing. It's been really, 2025 has been a doozy for me. My partner's father is also back in hospital. I don't know if any of you recall, he had cancer in his leg. His bone was removed, his whole upper thigh bone, and they put in a titanium hip and thigh bone. It's now infected, so his dad's in hospital. So there's a lot. There is a lot. On top of that, there is my contemplation of, do I move out? And the contemplation of, is this relationship going to last or survive? And my psychologist said this to me, and this is what I want to share. These are 2 separate questions. And I was like, oh, yeah. So she said, the one question, do you move out, has a lot to do with who I am, me as a person, valuing having my own space, valuing my freedom, valuing my independence. And these are values that are meaningful to me. I'm not saying that they would be as meaningful to anyone else, to you. But for me, this sense of independence and freedom is very valuable to me. It's something I never had right up until 2018, until my 40s. I always lived with someone. I always lived with someone up until I turned 40. And the one time I moved out on my own, I got broken into. And because this is South Africa, that kind of shit happens. I got broken into. I was so scared. I remember I actually threw up after that. And then I moved right back out. So I was 26, I think, at the time. I had just started a new job, and I moved into this little garden, granny cottage, granny flat. It was attached to the main house. But so my rent was minimal, but I'd left a window open, and that one window didn't have burglar guards. And this guy, I saw him in the door frame. He had climbed through the bathroom window. Luckily, at the time, I sat up in bed, and I thought, he has no clue if anyone's with me, if I'm alone. I sat up in bed, and I just shouted at the top of my lungs in a deep voice. I said, hey! And this guy shat himself, and he ran back out the window. But I was so shaken. I mean, what a nightmare to wake up with this young guy in my bedroom. Sure, it was terrifying. And so I just moved back in with my father, and I just left. So I had 3 weeks of independence, 2 weeks or something. And then I met my ex-husband, and then we got engaged, and then I moved in with him. And so I've always lived with someone. Even when I went to Greece with my family, I met a boyfriend and I moved in with him. So when I flew the nest, I always flew it into a man's nest, so to speak. And then I flew the nest properly, and then I went straight back to daddy because I was scared to live alone. And I've never really thought about that or pondered that. But in 2018, when I left my ex-husband and things had fallen apart, I bought my house, and for the first time, it was truly me on my own, making it on my own, living on my own, doing all the cleaning, the washing, the cooking, all the responsibilities of life on my own. And while it was hard, I'm not going to lie, it's hard, it was also wonderful. And it was wonderful because I was in control of my time and my space and everything. And sleeping alone in a bed alone is always very nice for me. I'm not one of those people who wants to snuggle and cuddle and have somebody in my space. It's just not me. I know a lot of people disagree with me. I have one friend who thinks I'm mad, and that's fine. But as the psychologist said to me, your need for space, your need for your own space is different to pondering, will this relationship make it? And like I was intertwining the two, and she said, no, you can actually have two separate conversations around these things. And so that has brought me a lot of peace, because the pressure to decide, does this relationship make it? Do I end it? Do I say, yes, we're going to try again? What do I even say? Are we even, I don't know. When things fall apart, you're just like, I don't know. And she said, it's okay to not know. Not knowing means I need more information. And I love that. It means I need more information. It doesn't mean I will never know. It means I don't know right now, and I need time, space, or information, or all of it, to make that decision. And then the moving in or moving out decision, or the staying or moving out, is a separate decision, because in theory, I could move out and we still have a relationship if he finds that agreeable or not. And that has brought me so much peace. And so untangling things, well, sometimes it does take somebody outside of you to see it for what it is. But I know she hit on something correct, because immediately when she said that, I was like, peace, absolute peace. And she's spoken to me a lot lately about feedback feelings, something I'm terrible with and acknowledging. And that's the last little piece I want to share in this very impromptu live I'm doing. A feedback feeling is basically a hunch, a gut feeling that we have. It could be positive or negative, but I have ignored mine most of my life, pretty much. So, when somebody does something, it could be good, bad, indifferent, whatever, they will, let's say it's an act of kindness, because this is where I trip myself up. Somebody is really, oh, you're so beautiful, and can I help you, and can I take you for dinner, and can I pay for you, can I buy you this? But you are thinking it's too much, and like, why are they being so nice? That is a feedback feeling that like, whoa, 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 whoa. But often, me being the person who wants to see the good in everyone, you go, oh, don't be so hard on them. They're just being nice. Oh, shame. He really likes me. Oh, I'm sure he doesn't mean anything bad by it. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? And you squash that feedback feeling down. What one should do, but often it takes mental energy and bandwidth, what one should do is say, hang on, I'm not comfortable with this. And then put a boundary or a space or some time between you and that person or what they're offering. It could also be a negative thing if somebody says something and you go like, oh, that's weird or doesn't align with your values. You need to acknowledge that, and I don't. And I'm learning how to do that. I'm thinking about it a lot, and your feedback feelings can lead you to a life of authenticity. And I know this is a word that's so overused, and I don't even know what that word really means anymore, but I think I'm getting to understand it means leading a life that you would truly want. Not always possible to have that, but sometimes it is, and you are the one holding yourself back. Like now, for example, if I want my own space and I want a bedroom that's all mine, that is possible. That is within the realms of possibility. I just need to ask for it. And I need to acknowledge my feedback feelings around that in order to ask for it. Does that make sense? So it could even be in your career, in your job, what you want to do. If you are young and you don't even know what your career path could be, one has to tune into those feedback feelings. And the only way you can is by trying things as well. Let's say, try music. You try an instrument, or you try this or that, and it just doesn't resonate with you. There's a feedback feeling, like this is not the thing for you. For me, I luckily have followed my authenticity far more in my work life than I have in my personal life. My personal life, I just always go along with what people want. I want to be people pleasing. In work, like look at me now on YouTube. This is something I've always wanted to do. And here I am doing it. Here I am with the small little audience of 4 who have joined me. I've also stayed true to being an artist. I mean, I worked as an artist for 20 years. Who gets to do that? It's such a wonderful job. And sure, that contract has ended, but I could, if I worked hard enough, probably find a way to do some form of art again, whether it's just for pleasure or not. But there are ways, and we do need to listen to these feedback feelings. I've also worked in jobs that I've hated, and I've worked in jobs that I never thought I would enjoy, and I did. Like selling jewelry. I sold jewelry at a high-end jewelry store, and I'm not a salesperson, but I loved the jewelry. I loved the environment because it's happy selling. People come in, they're getting engaged, they're celebrating something, 25 years of marriage, a birthday, obviously an engagement. And these are happy events to sell to. It's not like you're selling life insurance or something that people don't really want to spend money on. And so I enjoyed it. Yes, it was a career that I knew I wouldn't stay in forever and ever. But at the time, I found enough enjoyment in it. And there was a feedback of, I do enjoy having like one-on-ones with people, because you would sell one-on-one to a customer or the husband coming in to buy for the wife. And that was enjoyable. And so there was that. House sitting. I loved house sitting. Weirdly enough, I loved it. What I loved was getting to stay in people's beautiful homes and looking after their pets. I love animals. And so it was a way of having more pets in my life. And I mean, I'm very trustworthy, and, I wasn't one to take advantage. Sometimes I would say, eat anything in the fridge. And that was also fun. It was nice to, you go on a vacation to someone's house, look after the animals, and you get paid. So there was like good feedback feelings. But that kind of job only works when, like, I was studying, a student. So now as a mother with a kid, I can't do that yet. But maybe one day when I'm retired, there's another little career option for me, when I'm in my 60s. Who knows? People always trust a little old lady. But again, listen to what your gut is telling you. Somebody else may hate house sitting, whereas I loved it. I also didn't mind waitressing. I found some parts of it hard, but for the medium. I would say medium there, depending on the customers. But again, I need to just get better at tuning in to my real, true feelings about things. But more so for me, it's in relationships. Now, I'm better with friendships. It's in romantic relationships that I just push my needs, my wants, and my authenticity aside. And it's not the other person's fault. It is me. I do it. I don't know why I do it. I don't know if it's just, I don't know, actually. And you see, I don't know. I need more information. This is something I need to work at and on with my psychologist. And it's okay to not know. It is okay to not know something. And it is okay to say, I need more time. It is okay to say, I can't give you an answer right now. So I'm learning all these things. Who knew at 46 you can still be learning so much about yourself, about life, and about relationships. And, with the death of my ex-husband, obviously there's a lot to that relationship. I need to say goodbye in my mind to him and sort through that relationship in order to just have that, okay, goodbye, he's gone, that freedom to move on with like to close the chapter. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's that as well. I have been trying to journal in the mornings so at the moment, like this weekend, my partner was away, so I had time to journal, and that is bringing me more in touch with myself. And I suppose one could even do feedback feelings about food and diet and exercise. I was just thinking that if you hate, for example, oats, which is like a very healthy breakfast, don't eat them. If you hate it and it makes you miserable, don't eat them. There is something else that you will enjoy that's good for you, that's healthy for you. If you hate running, most people hate running, don't do it. Just because somebody like me does it, and I'm here on YouTube saying exercise, run, blah, blah, blah. If you hate it, don't do it. Rather do something else. If you hate the thought of going into a gym because it's noisy and there's sweaty people and they are loud, don't do it. You can set up a home gym, or you can, whatever, join a Pilates class or a small class for women only. There are so many things. You just need to really tune in. Also, I think one has to tune into why you're having these feelings. Is it fear? So are you just scared of a new thing? Or do you really just not like that thing and it's not for you? And that's where sometimes I get confused, because often I will let fear push me away from something when it could be something that maybe I would enjoy if I just got over the fear of doing it for the first time. A classic example is posting my first video on YouTube. Well, not my first, but my reborn first, when I restarted this channel. That was terrifying, absolutely terrifying, to start again. And then even now, the fear of continuously posting and risking rejection, quite honestly, because when a video doesn't do well, you feel quite rejected sometimes, even though you know you are not being rejected. And sometimes the videos that don't do well are the ones where you guys have more of a connection with me, because it's the true subscribers, the ones that actually connect with you, who watch those ones. And those are the kinds of videos I want to make, but I also want the channel to grow. So sometimes I do videos that reach a wider audience, but don't have that heart-to-heart connection. And that's also terrifying. But again, to not confuse the fear with a negative feedback feeling and say, oh, I shouldn't do that. So yeah, it's not always easy to navigate our way in the world. It's really hard, but it is possible. And today I had a moment of clarity, and that's when I knew, when that feeling came, like, oh, yes, I need to separate these two decisions. I was like, oh yeah, that was such a feeling, a feedback feeling of peace and clarity, that I know it's the right thing. And I just wanted to share that with you guys here today. And I know this has nothing to do with diet, so sorry if you were expecting anything fitness or diet related, other than I'm still keeping up with my gym because it gives me something mentally. And I wish that for all of you. I hope you find something that you can hold on to in times of stress, in dark times, in hard times. Even if I go to the gym just for half an hour, something about struggling with a weight, something about getting in tune with my body, your mind can just sort of disappear. It is so, I don't know, it just really does help my mental health, even though it doesn't really help me sort through things. It just gives me this like base, or this grounding. So I'll leave you with that thought. I'm off to do the nighttime routine, cooking and showering and supper and all that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.